Hey, Michael here, and today I want to thank URintells Cuisine for sending me their espresso machine. This is the EM5410-US. This is a really cool, inexpensive, it's great for beginning home baristas to make espresso, lattes, cappuccinos, even Americanos at home, and it's very nice looking. Let me show this to you. So here it is, and everything you get out of the box. So you've got basically a quick start guide. They give you a product manual, which gives you deep instructions, and then these are all the accessories that you get. You get the portafilter, and it comes with a double basket. You get a single basket, and then you get a ESE pod basket. All three of these baskets are what we call pressurized baskets. So they make it easy for the beginner to really make a great espresso without worrying about dialing in the coffee just perfectly. They give you a little tool here to help remove the baskets from the portafilter. You just insert the end of the tool into that little slot there and twist it, and that'll help you get the basket out really easily. Instead of a cheesy plastic tamper and scoop, they give you a little bit of a better quality metal tamper and scoop, so that's nice. The machine itself is really cool. It's got a very nice and very legible LED display. And then if you look closely, it sort of has a dot matrix screen over the display, so it just gives it a cool look. You've got 4 control buttons here. The first button is the Americano/hot water button. Now, one of the great features of this machine is it has a dedicated hot water spout here. So you're not getting flavored hot water that goes through the portafilter. No, you've got a dedicated spout here that's just going to deliver nice, fresh, hot water to your cup. And you can either use this to make tea or, again, Americanos, or if you just want to warm up your cup before you make your espresso, you can squirt a little bit of hot water in there first, swish it around and warm up your cup. The second button here is the single shot of espresso button. Just press it once. Then you've got a double shot of espresso button. Just press it once. And then this is the steam button, and you would push this to turn on the boiler to heat the water to the higher temperature necessary to produce steam. And once the boiler gets to the temperature that it needs to be, that light will stop blinking and go on solid. And it only takes 10 to 15 seconds for the boiler to reach that higher temperature. Once it does reach that higher temperature, then you go over to your steam wand here. So we have reached temperature now. You use the dial on the side here to turn on. You're going to get some residual water coming out first. That's very normal. But just keep that on until you get pure steam coming out of there. And once you get pure steam coming out of there, you want to just check over here. There's a sort of a temperature display, and that'll settle on a higher temperature. Once it gets to that temperature, you know that you are at the proper temperature for making steam, and then you can come on over here and resume making your steam in order to make froth. Now, they do not include a frothing pitcher with this machine, so that is something you would have to get at a later date. Now, once you're done making your steam, you need to get that boiler down to a lower temperature again. So you would just push this button again to turn it off. And then you want to come over here again, and you need to cool the boiler down. So you need to run steam through here until it turns into just a stream of hot water again. And that's just running water through the boiler to get it down to the lower temperature. Until that happens, these lights are going to be blinking, and that means it's too hot to make espresso. So you just have to keep running the steam through here until it just turns to water. So here we go. You can see that we're now getting pretty much a steady stream of water, and then we turn the steam knob off, and you can see that the temperature has gone down to that lower temperature. I do want to mention that the top does get warm, so you can use that as a warming tray for your cups. It'll help them stay a little bit warmer. But like I said, before you make any drink, it's also a good idea to just run a little bit of hot water into your cup. It doesn't have to be a whole lot because it's very, very hot water. And just swish it around a little bit, and that'll get your cup at a warmer temperature, and that'll maintain that temperature to make your espresso or Americano hotter. So that's a nice little feature that they have there. So now we are going to get our double portafilter here. I have some freshly ground coffee here, espresso grind, so it's very fine. They say that you should use 13 to 15 grams of coffee in the double basket. So depending on the quality of the coffee and the type of coffee bean that you're grinding, you may or may not be able to achieve that much coffee weight. In my case, I can only get about 10 grams of coffee into this basket using the beans that I'm using. So you get about 2 scoops of coffee in there, and then I usually like to tap this on the counter a little bit just to level the coffee down. And then once you get it fairly level, use the tamper and give it a nice firm tamp. You don't want to fill up the basket all the way to the top, because then it'll be hitting the screen that's inside here. So you do want to recognize the fact that there's a max fill line in the basket, and you just want to not exceed that. So put the portafilter in about a 45-degree angle, and then just rotate it straight. Put your cup under the spout here, and then make sure that the hot water spout is pointing into the cup. All I have to do is come up here and press the Americano button one time. It's going to start delivering hot water out of the hot water port. And once again, that'll be about 70 milliliters of water. And then we've got the count up timer showing us how long that's actually taking. Now we're going to get espresso. And this is going to deliver about 80 milliliters of espresso. And once again, our count up timer is at work. And there we have it. How easy was that? And I drink Americanos most often. So for me, having to just push one button to make an Americano is fantastic. Now to make an espresso, first thing we're going to do is take the portafilter off of here. I've got a knock box, and I highly recommend you get a knock box. It just makes getting your coffee out of your portafilter much easier. And just smack it a couple times, and that'll get your coffee out of there. I'm going to go to the sink and rinse this out, and I'll be right back. All right, so we have a nice clean portafilter. It's always a good idea to clean the screen in between your drinks just to get any loose coffee grounds off of there. So I usually have a damp rag or paper towel handy, and that just gets the loose coffee grounds out of there. So now let's put more coffee in here. Again, fresh ground coffee. We're going to put about 2 scoops in there. That's going to give, in my case, 10 grams. Tap, tap, tap. That just smooths things out. And you can even use your finger a little bit to smooth it out, and then tamp it. You want your tamp to be as level as possible. And insert it. There we go. Get our cup, and again, we can run a little hot water in there first. That's plenty. And then to make a double espresso, we'll just push the double button. Count up timer starts, and that should take about 30 seconds. Now, while it's making the espresso, I do want to mention that you can change the volume delivered by the espresso in the double. You simply press and hold the button. It'll beep. You've got to hold it for about 3 seconds. You'll hear a beep, and then it'll start making the espresso. You continue holding that button until the amount of espresso that you want delivered is delivered, and then you release the button. It'll retain that setting, and then every subsequent time it'll make that exact amount. You can do that for both buttons. So there we have some nice crema, and there is our double shot of espresso. And a lot of times people want to know what the temperature is. Now, these have been sitting here already for the Americano at least a minute or two. But when I check the temperature, you're going to see that this is still pretty hot. I mean, it's 158 degrees, almost 159 degrees. And then the double shot of espresso is right up there as well. That's about 150. I saw it say 151 there for a second. Well, there's 157. So as you stir this around. So, I mean, these are very hot drinks, and plus, like I said, these have been sitting here for a while. So the machine, although you can adjust the temperature, it does not make just tepid, warm espressos. It makes a nice hot espresso. And again, pre-warming your cup is going to help with that as well. I really like this machine. It's very easy to use, and I just love some of the features that it has. I like the LED display. I like the count-up timer. I like the fact that it has the temperature indication here, although you can adjust the temperature. And this is just more of an indication that the machine is either in the steam mode or the espresso mode. I'm not sure how relevant that actual temperature is. But overall, it's very nicely built. It's all stainless steel, and it has a nice drip tray here. This is stainless steel. It has a float that indicates when the drip tray needs to be emptied. And then if you have a taller cup, you can remove the drip tray and you can use this extra space to put a taller cup in there. And this is a second sort of a mini drip tray, you might say, down on the bottom here. Overall, it's quite a capable, very inexpensive, and it works quite well, I think. So thanks a lot to URintells Cuising for sending me this machine so that I could review it for you. Hope you found this helpful. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.